In honor of 2020 National Historic Preservation Month, which has to be done a little bit differently this year because of COVID-19, Dan and I and members of the Wheatland Historic Preservation Commission are going to take you on a tour of one of our downtown historic buildings, 851 Gilchrist. First, however, let me tell you a little bit about Wheatland. Before the 19th century, the area around the future site of Wheatland was flat and arid, and it had desert-like vegetation. In 1883, local rancher and judge Joseph Carey, along with many other prominent citizens, including Francis E. Warren and Andrew Gilchrist, established the Wyoming Development Company. The company hoped to irrigate in the Wheatland area on the flats and profit from the new development that would bring. Judge Carey was the mayor of Cheyenne. He was a territorial representative to the United States Congress, and he was a Wyoming United States Senator when Wyoming achieved statehood in 1890. He was the first, probably the only Wyoming citizen to achieve all three of those wonderful opportunities. By the fall of 1883, an irrigation system was constructed on the Wheatland Flats, including a 2,380-foot-long tunnel used to divert water for irrigation into Bluegrass Creek, and the first of the two of the system's canals. Lots in the town of Wheatland were auctioned in 1894. By 1915, there were many farms established on the flats, and the population was 5,277. The Wheatland Irrigation District is still the largest privately owned irrigation district in the country. My friend Dan Breck is going to tell you a little bit more and give you a tour of the building now known as the Platte County Economic Development Building.
Thank you, Linda. Gilchrist Avenue, back in the late 1800s and early 1900s, was the very heart of Wheatland's business district. People getting off the passenger train at the depot would immediately walk up Gilchrist Street, either on their way to their hotel or to the restaurant to get a bite to eat, and ultimately to the Wyoming Development Company offices to do whatever business they had to do to start working on their new farm. The Wyoming Development Company offices were just one block west of the depot. That building was actually the first building in Wheatland. It was actually built even before the plat for the town of Wheatland was laid out. Along Gilchrist Avenue, on their way up to that Wyoming Development Company office, will be hotels such as the Commercial Hotel and the Globe Hotel, a restaurant or two, a bank, newspaper office, post office, hardware store, and all the other enterprises required by small booming towns at that time. There would have been a flurry of activity as horse-drawn wagons carried supplies brought in on the train and delivered to the businesses in the new farms. The Wyoming Development Office was built around 1889, and as I said earlier, is the oldest building in Wheatland. Other buildings soon followed. Many were wooden frame false front buildings. Those buildings often had very attractive facades with large glass windows, decorative brick, metal, terracotta touches. Oftentimes they had transom windows as well, and you're going to see an example, a wonderful example of that in the building we're going to tour shortly. The building that we're talking about at 851 Gilchrist now houses the Platte County Economic Development offices. That building was actually a latecomer, being constructed in about 1918. The attractive two-story building served in many capacities over the years, but for the most part, it was a grocery store in those early days, both as Banner Grocery and a Piggly Wiggly grocery store. During the 1940s, 50s, and even into the 1960s, the building housed Quality Cleaners, which was a laundry and dry cleaners enterprise, had apartments upstairs, and the town crier offices, one of Wheatland's two weekly newspapers, was located in the basement. In more recent times, it's housed a restaurant, pet store, Christian bookstore, and at one time there was even a residence in the main floor when things were a little bit tough in downtown Wheatland. So as you approach the building at 851 Gilchrist, now called Gilchrist Street, not Gilchrist Avenue, you'll notice two distinct features: the attractive brick archway and the original leaded glass transom windows that have even turned purple, as old glass will often do over time. When you enter the building, the beautiful original tin ceiling immediately catches your eye. It's one of three exceptional examples of well-preserved, unblemished original tin ceilings in downtown Wheatland. So now Linda and I want to take you out back to the courtyard, where we're going to show you the murals that depict the early days of the Wheatland Irrigation District. And also we want to show you the old derelict building that has been converted into an incubator building for Platte County Economic Development. It currently houses a salon.
We finish up in the courtyard behind the Platte County Economic Development Building to highlight murals made by our Platte County Art Guild that feature the history of the Wheatland Irrigation District. We really appreciate the Alliance for Historic Wyoming for helping us support and promote National Historic Preservation Month, and we especially appreciate our videographer, Miss Abby Mickelson.